It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, so you guys sent us a ton of searches all about one big game, Michigan versus Auburn basketball.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people were really interested in this one.
Absolutely, and we want to dive into these searches and see what they can tell us about the game and the fans.
I think the first thing that jumps out at me is just the sheer volume of searches.
Right, like there's a lot of them.
Yeah, a ton. And that tells us right away that this game was a big deal to a lot of folks.
Yeah, for sure. And it wasn't just like people searching for general stuff about the game either.
Right, it was much more specific.
Yeah, you see searches like Michigan versus Auburn and Auburn versus Michigan.
Yeah, basically no matter which team you were rooting for,
right,
people were looking for information.
Exactly. And then even beyond the matchup itself, we see a ton of searches for each individual team.
Yeah, true. Like Auburn basketball, Michigan basketball.
Right. And even more specific ones too, like U of M basketball or the full team names.
Yeah, it seems like fans of both these programs were really dialed in.
For sure. And when you look at the player-specific searches, it gets even more interesting.
Absolutely. Certain players' names really jump out.
Yeah, like Tahad Pettiford and Johnny Broom.
Denver Jones pops up quite a bit, too, along with Vladislav Golden and Danny Wolf, Michigan.
And the fact that we see Pettiford Auburn and Broom Auburn searched so many times.
Right. That suggests those Auburn players were especially important in this game.
Yeah, maybe they were coming off a big game or there's a lot of pregame hype around them.
Exactly. And, of course, we can't forget about the coaches.
Oh, yeah. People were searching for Bruce Pearl and Dusty May, too.
Yeah, makes sense. People wanted to see how the coaching matchup would play out.
Totally. And I think those coaching searches also show how much people appreciate the strategic side of the game.
Definitely. It's not just about the players. It's about how they're led.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving on from the individual players and coaches.
Right. Let's talk about the game itself.
Exactly. We see so many searches for the actual matchup, like Michigan-Auburn game and Auburn-Michigan game.
Yeah, and also more general searches like Michigan game today, which tells us.
People wanted to know what was happening right now.
They were following the game live, probably looking for scores and updates.
Definitely. And speaking of scores.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
Absolutely. We see tons of searches for scores like U of M basketball score.
Michigan basketball score, all the variations.
And of course, the most straightforward one, did Auburn win?
Yeah. In the end, that's what a lot of fans want to know.
For sure. And besides the score itself, we also see some searches that give us a sense of where and how people were watching.
Right. State Farm Arena pops up, which tells us where the game was played.
Yep. And there are also searches for where to watch the game on TV or online.
Shows how important it was for fans to be able to actually see the game.
Absolutely. And then we also see a bunch of searches related to predictions.
Oh, yeah. Like Michigan versus Auburn prediction.
Exactly. It seems like fans were really trying to figure out who was going to win.
Makes sense. It's always fun to speculate before the game.
For sure. And another interesting thing is that we see some searches for broader NCAA basketball.
Right, like NCAA basketball scores and ANSIA scores.
Yeah, it suggests that people weren't just focused on this one game. They were following the whole college basketball landscape.
Makes sense, especially during tournament time.
Yeah. And then after the game, it looks like some fans wanted to dig even deeper.
Right, we see that long search for Michigan Wolverines men's basketball versus Auburn Tigers men's basketball match player stats.
Wow, yeah, it's a mouthful.
But it tells us that people were interested in those nitty-gritty details.
Definitely. And then just to round things out.
Right. We also saw some simpler searches, like just Auburn or Michigan.
And the very practical Michigan basketball schedule for those looking ahead.
Exactly. And then we even see some variations in how people phrase the matchup.
Oh, yeah, like Michigan v. Auburn instead of Michigan versus Auburn.
It just shows how people use different language when they're searching.
Yeah, for sure. So when you look at all these searches together, what does it tell you about this Michigan-Auburn game?
Well, it's clear that this was a huge game for a lot of people.
Yeah, and they were really invested in the outcome.
Absolutely. And we can see that they were interested in everything from the star players to the coaches to the final score.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how those pre-game predictions played into everything.
It makes you wonder what factors people were considering when they were making those predictions.
Yeah, were they looking at team rankings, player matchups, or even historical data?
And then how did those predictions compare to what actually happened in the game?
That's a great question. Something to think about.
It's really amazing how these simple search terms can give us such a rich picture of a sporting event.
It's like a digital footprint of all the excitement and anticipation surrounding the game.
Exactly. It's a reminder that there's so much more to these games than just the final score.
Absolutely. And that's what makes exploring these searches so interesting.
Agreed. It's a glimpse into the hearts and minds of the fans.
And that's what we're all about here on The Deep Dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, we'll see you next time.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.